and she's actually interviewed me for that process.
Nice.
I've had people in Trinidad who have told me after that they were on a phone interview and really reading from the book about change management. So I've had a lot of experiences with people who have gleaned value from the book. I have a consultant in Budapest who uses the book because he does process improvements. I have another one in Hawaii who also uses it. So it continues to reach the people who it needs to reach. And Lead Your Team to Win, actually, when I first wrote it in 2014, it was voted by Web Forum as one of the best books for entrepreneurs to read for that year.
Nice.
So it's been getting, so they have their own journeys and their own paths. And, they take me along for a ride. So it's pretty interesting.
I like that. Well, I think the next time we have an interview, I'll be able to tell you about how it affected me in my life.
Okay, good.
Yeah?
Yes.
I guess, yeah, you're right. In every way, we are leaders.
Yes.
We do have a leadership role to fill.
We do.
And great responsibility.
Yes. Yes.
So, I don't know, do you think, what are we lacking proper leadership in Trinidad and Tobago? And I don't mean that only from, a political level.
Yeah.
I'm not really trying to focus on
No,
anything,
we're not going to look at that.
at all, but in different sectors of let's say business and education, etc.
So I share my experience. I mean, I have worked with some fantastic leaders, and I've also worked with some fantastic managers, as well as I've worked with people who have been less effective in both realms.
Okay.
And the difference for me, I think, is really about that sense of personal development and self-development. So in Trinidad, we have a lot of educated people, very, very well educated people, a lot of masters, a lot of MBAs, a lot of first degrees, and technical qualifications, whether it is an ACCA, a professional engineer, whatever. We are loaded with those things.
Right.
And as I've worked with clients, especially as a coach, what I realize is that there is a way in which we have not personally developed. And that lack of personal development meets with our professional development, and it leaves us a little bit stunted in some areas. So in terms of leadership, these people are great. A lot of us have great information, but something around the intentionality of how we treat people, and in terms of being intentional about leading people towards a particular vision, I think that's where I see the gap at times.
That is very interesting. Being able to develop yourself personally to meet the needs of your career, or at least you
of
as
yourself,
a leader.
yourself as an entity. Your complete self in terms of the emotions you have, how you deal with that, and people call it emotional intelligence. In terms of your brain and how it functions, and in terms of understanding, most importantly, how you react and the impact you have on other people when you react. So it's not about whether you're good or bad or whatever, but really in terms of this team that you're leading, what are your impacts of yourself when you display your behavior on your team members? Because it's never about, when we have an ineffective leader, it's never about the information that they give us or their ability to know the work. It is really about how they make us feel when we leave their presence.
Right.
So one of the things that worked for me is I always say, when somebody leaves my office, they should leave with their dignity intact. And that means that sets my mind thinking about how do I tell this person this work is not good enough, not without making them feel like they're 5. Or how do I encourage and motivate this person as an adult without cursing them, coercing them,
right?
Coercing them, or sort of giving them a bribe. How do I motivate them as one adult to the other?
Yes.
And then what's
naturally.
the quality? Yeah, what's the quality of relationship we have? You're an adult, I'm an adult. It's not an adult child. I'm not your mom. I'm not your dad.
Right.
So those are some of the considerations that immediately when I say I want this person to leave my office with their dignity intact, it means those are the considerations that I have.